This is Ethereal Aeons Activation. If you're new to the channel, I'm Leslie Demai. Everyone else, welcome back. We've got a very interesting subject today that I want to talk to you guys about, and I think it's going to allow you to see human behavior in a whole different way. It's going to bring a lot of light to why we do certain things in our life. So I'm going to bring up the point of how salvationism, while in Gnosticism, is revered as one of the biggest deficits. It's the biggest deceit and reason for the de-evolution of human consciousness. And the reason for mass chaos amongst humans is not just confined to Abrahamic religion alone. It is a very deeply ingrained belief system. So in today's video, I'm going to dissect common patterns that keep reinforcing this mindset in our daily lives. So if you found yourself stuck in relationship dead ends, or you feel more like a follower than a leader, or you're trapped in repetitive cycles, or you have the occasional self-sabotage, stick around till the very end because many people fit in one of these categories I'm going to bring up. Now, in religion, we have guilt, shame, and fear. These are the most common control tools. And as a faithful believer, they call themselves believers, right? They're not knowers or looking for the gnosis. They're believers. They believe. The only way to escape this burden of fear, shame, guilt is by cultivating as much blind faith as possible and then pledging allegiance to the one God of the material world. So now you might say, well, I'm not religious. I see through the satanic network. I see that they masquerade throughout the reality. But the demiurge does not exclude this program to the religious. It will follow you in many other ways. They capture as many timelines as they can. Okay, the hive mind is massive, and within the hive mind are many different networks. Okay, it's not just one cone, it's a full-on network going on. And so, yes, they're all feeding the demiurge, but most of the people in the hive are unaware that they still continue to hover in and out of the hive, and in more ways or in different ways than what they expected. And this is the thing, is like, you can't just be hovering in and out all the time. A very common example goes to the person who believes that they can save another. And we're going to talk about how this plays out in romantic relationships in particular. So we've all been there. We've all had a friend or a girlfriend, let's say, who maybe has done it more than once. Okay, it's usually the ladies, and it happens all the time. And this is trying to save your romantic partner, right? The damaged one, trying to save either like the bad boy or the emotionally unavailable or emotionally disturbed person. But there's something about them, you could save them. This type of relationship is one of the biggest forms of consent to energy vampirism. And it fits right into the notion of being able to save someone. This is the idea of salvationism. So you're basically saying, I'm a grown adult. He's the way he is. He might be messed up, or we could say she might be messed up, whatever. But I'm the one. I'm the one who can help him. I can save him. I can save him from himself. You've seen many romantic stories play out this way, right? And that sounds like the blind God to me. That sounds like something the blind God would say. Now, the religious archetype that this fits in the most, okay, it's going to end up resembling the martyr. After the buildup in a romantic relationship like this, we all see what happens. It always comes to a downfall. So what happens to the one who tried to save the other is that they're then going to identify themselves as the story, as being the one who sacrificed everything to help another, and it didn't work out for them, and they were just trying to help. You become the martyr. So again, this is another religious archetype that follows people around. And it's really because the individual was duped by a spinoff of the salvationism program. So it has a way of making guest appearances in our own life in many unique ways. So while we as women are nurturers, we're healers, we are givers. Don't get it twisted. Don't invert your superpower to an individual, all in the name of being able to be a savior to them. That's what it boils down to. That's what all the effort you were putting in, that's what the risk you were putting in was geared towards you being able to save them. You can say you were trying to help them, but deep down, it is this savior salvationism complex. It's a program. That's all it is. Now, another great example is how the hive mind will honor the concept of being the one. This would translate into what happened when the pandemic went down. There was this immediate applause for those who stayed home, for those who got the you-know-what, and this recognition as if they were heroes. And even to like the nurses and the doctors, they were heroes too, because they were out there in the front line. We had to see about it. We had to hear about it and see it everywhere. If you were driving down the street, there was neon signs plastered saying, "Thank you, heroes. Thank you, first responders." And at this time, when that happened, I had just gotten back into nursing. I left shortly after, but I didn't feel a sense of recognition like, oh, look it, I'm driving to work as a nurse and there's a sign saying thank you to me. I was like, this is messed up. This is messed up. And it's mind control technique that they're doing. So everyone wants to be the hero, right? So next in line were those that were going to get the V. They were going to be the heroes, and they got the prizes, and they get the awards, and they get the accolades, right? So everyone else who refused was a threat. And how could you be so selfish? How can you put others at risk? You should be stripped of your human rights, just enough to teach you a lesson and eventually sway you to join us. That's the hive mind. That's their religion now, is the science, right? The politics, that's all their religion now. So if you don't fall for the religion at a church, most people are going to fall into this other arena. So is be a hero, save a life, stay at home, save a life, wear a face diaper, save a life, get the V, be the one who makes the difference. It's a crazy realm out there, people. You can't make this up. And it all ties into the blind God. The hive mind feeds his salvationism. It is a requirement, these very agendas. They're all a requirement for them to sustain this shadow realm. So one more example, and this is a big one. And this is one I have a big problem with, because I see a lot of people doing this who are spiritual teachers, who are supposed to be high conscious, all this stuff. And I don't really go on social media whatsoever. I do have this YouTube account, but I was like in Groundhog Day when I went on there just today, as a matter of fact, which is why I'm pretty, I definitely feel like nothing's changed, and I'm not surprised, but it's really freaky. It's really freaky to see these people on a loop. So this has to do when you choose one side versus another side in politics, in leaders, in wars, in countries, choosing one over another. Do you not know that it's all been taken over? Do you not know when you choose one side, you're aligning with the archons? It doesn't matter which side you're choosing. Okay. So what all of these do, all of these things have in common, whether you're saying you're political or not, or if you're just deciding to like be a part of some trend because you feel obligated because everyone else is, you're choosing their side. You're not choosing the side of the sovereign person. You're not choosing the side of actually helping someone. You're not helping anyone. So we are not in ancient times with the original inhabitants who were the guardians of the land. because those guardians, the guardians of the light, the guardians of Gaia, they were taken down systematically by the colonizers, the blind god, their army of genocide, all in the name of religion. So there are still some of us here who tap into the magic and the divine intelligence in the reality. And we all try as often as possible. What we try to do is always to awaken and enhance the natural landscape around us and within ourselves. But you won't find the real guardians of the realm investing their energy or allowing their energy and their thought power to be deviated from anything but that, and instead focus their attention to these media clubs. That's all it is. So while there are real problems, real serious problems, all you're doing is feeding the egregore that you're aligning with and saying, no, this is the right one. So you're fueling it. You're allowing the astral entity behind that egregore. You're allowing it to have a voice and to occupy a space within your consciousness, which then has a ripple effect out in the reality. And all of this exists, all of the war, all of this exists and continues to happen because of human thought power, because of human strong emotions and what an effect that has. And because humans are buying into whatever is being served to them. So there is no government that will save you. There is no one type of political party that will save you. Their system all works for the same God of chaos. It's really that simple. So I have something to say to those of you who feel dignified in choosing sides and you feel entitled to spread the word because it's so important. They must hear it come from you too. Not everyone else on their feed. It has to come from you. You are spreading the word of the demiurge. Instead of creating your own waves of information, instead of spreading gnosis, not headlines. So you might as well go to the church and spread the gospel. So there's a lot of people buzzing around aimlessly, and you're never going to be able to uncover the true gnosis within if you're posting about everything else and directing your thought power to it. And the agendas roll out so fast now. Why do you think they're rolling out so fast? Because everyone's taking it. It's sticking so they can roll out more. It's consumerism on an energetic level. So you have to be very careful because our thought power creates or it dismantles things in this physical reality. These were just some of the ways that we can see salvationism and these Abrahamic religious archetypes play out in the reality in our modern times with people who aren't even religious. So we just got to keep working on ourselves and making sure that we're not overlooking these Archon encrypted codes that we've been programmed, and it's been etched into a lot of people. So that's all. I wanted to share a new perspective and my opinion on how this all plays out. If you found this video insightful, if you learned anything, if you want to add anything, go ahead and leave a comment below and like, share, and subscribe. Also, check out the links in my description for more information and join us inside the School of Mysticism for our private community. We have 12 plus courses in there, live events, all uncensored, all free from ads and the restrictions going on here on these social media platforms. So give that a look. I will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching.